What's going on, Teach for America family? Welcome to the Oasis of Achievement. My name is Serrano Legrand. I'm a 7th grade math teacher at Bethune Middle School, and I'm a 2011 core member. The value that I'm going to be speaking about today, which Teach for America constantly speaks about, is leadership. Present perspective. I start here because it serves as the context for the experiences that are happening now. When it comes to mitigating my risk and maximizing my impact as a leader, in my class we have something called the Oasis of Achievement. And we're guided by the vision for achievement. And then now this vision for achievement kind of creates the bigger picture of what I want my students to leave my classroom with. And I know that TFA has kind of hit it on the nail with getting every core member to develop and establish a culture and a vision. And it's so true. As a leader, you need something to constantly go back to. Whenever I get frustrated, whenever one of my students is out of line, I point to my wall. I point to the vision for achievement. I point to our goals. And it brings us back to the center of where we started and where we're trying to end up.
The foundation of our classroom will be the universal principles of achievement. We will awaken in us the spirit of achievement. Be better and help better. Be inspired, inspire others, and fulfill our purpose as students, while positively helping our world. Mathematics will serve as platforms for doing so. Yeah.
Historical sense. We obviously need to know where we came from to know where we're going. So we're here at this kind of historical sense that leaders have. And I think that a leader has always got to be open to experiences or moments that will contribute to his or her development. And I think that during this developmental process, it either makes you a successful leader or it makes you an ineffective one. Sort of like rise to the occasion, right? I'll take this experience that happened to me about a month and a half ago with a student named Antoine Allen. And I was in front of my classroom teaching my period 2, and I was teaching perimeter ratio. And obviously, from a scaffolding perspective, I had to kind of start with perimeter before I can make any types of connections or relationships with triangles and shapes. And so I was going through perimeter. And mind you, perimeter is something that my students should have been exposed to at 3rd grade, 4th grade, latest. And I had some students that were so confused about this concept of distance around a figure. And I felt my energy as I was teaching go from here all the way down. And then Antoine Allen goes, "Mr. Legrand, you're giving up on us. Why are you giving up on us?" And I swear it was that moment that defined a lot of why I was there and defined a lot of what I needed to get back to in order to become that leader in my classroom. It made me realize that I cannot give up. I never gave up because I've always had people that relied on me, that depended on me. And so if I failed, ultimately they failed. And when I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about Antoine Allen and his plea to not give up on him and his class, what I realized is that some of my students, they don't have anybody that relies on them. And I realized that for many of my students, especially my young boys, I'll become that family member. I'll become that brother, that father, that mentor, that person that they can depend on to hold them accountable and maintain high expectations. Absolutely. Right now, my mastery tracker has me at 59.6% mastery. So almost 40% of my kids are not mastering the material that I'm teaching. I fail every day. My students fail every day. And it's one of those hard realities. And though the numbers that I have on my mastery tracker kind of depict battles that I've faced and that my students have faced, it also provides me with strategies for how I'm going to win the war. The war on the achievement gap, the war on broken mindsets, the war on my students that are completely defeated by mathematics. Many of my victories come at those very small moments. Those moments when a Kedrika Sheffield is finally still, finally in his seat, not running around, finally listening, waiting for instructions, waiting for the next word to come out of my mouth, and excited and proud when he gets an 82 on one of my quizzes. Many of those victories will come when you're not really listening or you're not really watching. When those parents who banged on my door in the beginning of the year talking about their level 1 student is not ready for this math comes in mid-year through and thanks me for bringing their child up to a level 3 and being very excited that their child's favorite subject is now mathematics. Finally, leaders also build the next generation of leaders. It's the future. We live in the present, we've considered the past, and now it's time to plan for the future. And we're not talking about just planning tomorrow, we're talking about planning for the next month, but also planning for the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next lifetime, the next generation. So it's the charge of that leader to build in the next generation of leaders. It's the charge of that individual to recognize the potential of others and build them to be poised to take over. I have so many students with obvious and apparent potential to be great. One of the solutions I have chosen to commit to is the development of the Male Achievement Academy. The Male Achievement Academy is dedicated to the growth and development of young men at Bethune Middle School. Young men will be grounded in a model of achievement in everything we do. The Male Achievement Academy's goal is to build young men to become models of achievement that many other young men can follow, namely their peers. Our circular model ensures that it takes a village to raise a child and develop a role model. Through our theory of change, we have been able to generate a lot of support from both family and community. During our opening night, which was our parent and community welcome, nearly 35 people attended. Faculty and administration have continued to ask us how things are going, continue to meet with us and support with us. And interest from the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade halls has been garnered. We have 14 eager young men ready to become equipped leaders. This academy has significantly impacted my classroom and my student achievement. Primarily because I have 12 young men now in my classroom throughout the day who I can depend on to tutor someone who is on a lower level, to answer or ask a question when everyone else is deciding to be quiet, and to co-manage both a classroom and a hallway with me. Leadership is one of the toughest, never-ending wars. Lastly, true leadership is a rare commodity. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect and am the greatest leader in the world, but what I will say is that I wake up every day with just the desire and the passion to change lives. Cheers to you all as teachers, creators of inspiration, and leaders. Continue to change the world. Yo.